I'm Amber Mack at DX3 at the Canadian Tech Spotlight, and I'm here with the CTO of Nymi. Thanks for joining me.
Hi there, thanks for having me.
I've been familiar with your company for a while now, but for people who are watching who don't know what it is, what do you guys do?
Sure, so we make wearable technology, specifically a wristband called the Nymi Band, that authenticates identity, and it does this in a unique way using your heartbeat. So your heart rhythm is a unique biometric like your fingerprint, and we use that to recognize you in the wristband, and then it communicates wirelessly to unlock things. So replaces passwords, pins, key cards to unlock your computer, to unlock devices, to essentially make security something that's completely seamless.
So typically, if you think of the corporate world, people are unlocking doors by fobs or cards, all these different things that they can lose. So this is a lot more seamless, like you said.
Exactly, and the problem we have today is this constant balance between security and convenience, right? And what do we want to impose on workers and on people? Is the security bar or the convenience bar? And we realize the problem is that we're having to carry so many things to increase the security bar, say multiple factors. It can't just be one thing, it's got to be multiple things. If we put that on your body so you don't have to think about it, that all of it goes away. You get both security and convenience.
What is unique about what it's measuring?
So the electrocardiogram, which is the signal that we're capturing, it's a bit more than just your typical heart rate monitor that's just looking at the beats, how fast is your heart beating. This is looking at the whole waveform, which is the electrical activity of your heart. And we have machine learning that looks at the features, and because everybody's unique, the configuration of the muscles of your heart, the shape and everything, that waveform has lots of tiny little nuances that are consistent with every beat, maybe not visible to the eye, but with machine learning we can see and learn that that is unique to you, and we look for that collection of features.
What has been the reaction from some of the companies that you've worked with?
So at first it takes people a little bit to get over the idea of just doing things so differently, right? And especially in the sort of enterprise and industrial settings, changing ways of behavior it takes some work. The good thing is that they see a lot of the value. So after talking through it, they realize it's not so much about the biometric piece, it's the idea that it's always on. You don't have to think about it, and so the user doesn't have to constantly remember a password or pull anything out. So it takes a bit of work, there's work to integrate, but then they see the value is quite huge.
What about the end user, the employee? Do they mind wearing the wristband? Are they okay with it?
So part of our thesis is that people will be wearing smart technology for some reason, right? And there's a whole variety of reasons. Obviously, fitness bands and smart watches. The challenge is obviously timing. As a startup, is the market ready for what you're doing? So we found we're just at the cusp now. Our focus is generally in areas where they don't particularly mind wearing additional items. For example, in industrial settings, they're already wearing clothing specific to their job. And so that's been one of the sort of lowest barrier, sort of lowest hanging fruit for us. When we get into the more general worker and into the consumer, there is an expectation of a smart watch that does more things. It tracks my fitness, it's gives me notifications. And so for that, we're partnering, and you'll see products in the future that have Nymi technology inside, but is a more sort of fully featured wearable.
What is the time like as far as how much time it takes to get a business set up with this technology?
So right now it's a bit of work. Every customer we deal with, usually there's a pilot phase, and we have to look at their software, we have to look at a few integration points, but all of that becomes productized over time. And so today, it's usually about a few days of work to get a pilot up and running. But eventually, really, with a few software components, you have an administrator install some components as a user takes their band out of the box, either with a mobile app or a computer application. They can get set up in a couple of minutes.
What excites you about working in this space?
So, at the end of the day, it's about impact. It's like, I think we tend to overlook problems that are so big just because we're used to them, right? And passwords are the one that come up over and over again. And the idea that we are proving who we are over and over again, because we need secure interactions, right? When we interact with our accounts and devices, they need to know who we are, and we need to know who it is. A password seems so archaic, and yet we are stuck on it. We're stuck on this concept of a secret. So the idea that we could say smart technology on the body just makes that all go away, that type of an impact is super exciting.
So for people who are watching, where can they go to get more information?
So Nymi.com, Nymi.com, talks about our solution. You can be an early adopter, get set up, and have a look at what it is.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.